When we talk about climate change, we're talking about two different things. One, you're talking about drought and desertification. The drought and desertification is caused by the depletion of the ozone layer and things like that. So when we have drought and desertification, it causes problem between people who are seeking for means of livelihood. Like the rivers in the, let's say, in the Borono side where we have the Lake Chad Basin, there are people who live there. There are people who fish there, for instance. And then all of a sudden, the river will dry up. And then they start having problems with livelihood. And then we have grasses drying up. And then the herders will start looking for places to graze. In the course of looking for a place to graze, they start having problems with host communities. And then when you're talking about flooding in the other side, the depletion of the ice caps and all that, and then heavy rainfalls, which is responsible for flooding, like what we are seeing today in Borno State and, of course, in Niger State, where flood has washed up communities, washing up all farmlands. Now, the people's means of livelihood have been washed up in one flood. People's means, houses, everything about them is completely washed up by the flood. Now they're having crisis of livelihood. So what can be done is, in this part of the world, we need to be ready for emergencies like this. When there are emergencies like this, people should immediately receive the respite that they need from government agencies and then quarter them properly so that we don't have crisis in our hands. And of course, there are usually predictions about climate, what is going to happen, what is coming in the next year, or what is coming in the next few months. We should always be ready for this, because once we are not ready for this and it happens, it comes with catastrophe. It comes with catastrophic impact. Today, thousands of Nigerians are living as IDPs. I would not be surprised if people are already leaving Nigeria, maybe to places like Cameroon and Chad and all that, because of the impact of climate change.
Now, you talked about how poverty is also making people begin to take up arms here or motivate serious criminality.
Yes, you see, like when I try to link the climate change issue and issues of criminality and poverty and all that, of course, when the farmlands are gone, either by desertification and drought or by flood, you see that people lose their means of livelihood. That subjects them to poverty, immense poverty. And if care is not taken, especially the younger ones, they become susceptible and vulnerable to people who may want to use them to perform criminal activities. And in doing that, before you know what is happening, we have criminal youths in our society out of poverty caused by climate change impact.
Okay, you also talked about how there's a need to also watch the maritime sector. Can you reiterate that?
Yes, you know, the maritime sector is often I don't want to use the word neglected, because government is aware, but majority of stakeholders don't even know how powerful or how big the maritime sector is. The maritime sector, every economic activity in the country, most of them come from the maritime sector. The goods that will come from abroad, everything. A whole ship can carry over 2,000 cars, one ship can carry over 2,000 cars. So that will tell you the economic impact of the maritime sector. Now, when these things are coming, you don't know what is hidden inside these vehicles. You don't know what is hidden inside containers. You don't know what is hidden into goods and services that are coming through the maritime sector. And if this is not checked, these illegal arms and weapons will continue to come into the country, except there's 100% check on the ships. But the ship is very big. It comes with enormous challenges of trying to bring the technology to be able to check, to ensure that the whole ships coming into Nigeria, for instance, are cross-checked.